So, are the Cowboys still the biggest threat to the Eagles? Are the Chiefs still the biggest threat to the Bills? And what kind of impact could a struggling Super Bowl champion team make with their recently acquired former number one draft pick? Well, we're going to see if we can find out those questions and many more as we get you ready for week 14 in the NFL and week 14 in fantasy football. It's fantasy football again, and it's starting now. Hey, what's good, everybody? It's Tim McClellan here, welcoming you to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, December 6th, 2022, our first show of December. Oh, I'm telling you, I love this time of year. This is when the football really gets down to the nitty gritty. Teams fighting for playoff positions, and things are just getting crazy in December as it usually does. And of course, I'm joined by our good friends over here, Mr. John, League Commissioner. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. Week 14 is probably the best spot fantasy wise. A lot of people are fighting for that final playoff spot. It's all about making the right final moves. But yeah, just because this is week 14 doesn't mean it ends here. We will still answer your fantasy questions throughout the playoffs. So if you ever have any, you can always still send them. Just because it's week 14,
That's
this doesn't
right.
mean it's over. The show, as they say in show business, the show goes on.
Yes, we do. We will take you all the way through the playoffs, all the way through the NFL playoffs, and all the way to Super Bowl 57 over in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah, and don't
And
forget,
of course,
we will have content during the off season as well.
oh, yes, of course we do, because the business of the league goes on 24/7.
Oh yeah.
And of course, joining us down here, of course, is the host of Hooked on Sports, Mr. John Flynn. How are you, sir?
What's going on, Tim? How's it going?
It's going pretty good, buddy. Uh, we have had some interesting temperatures down here in Texas. Uh, it was actually up in the lower 70s today.
Ooh.
Uh, and Flynn, you're up in New York. How are things up there?
Yeah, so is that we actually it's actually close to 60 degrees today, and it's going to be same thing tomorrow before a cool down for the weekend.
All right. And Natalie, you formerly of New York, now living in Washington State. Uh, any snow yet?
Yeah, we had some snow last week, but yeah, it's starting to melt away, but still pretty cold. It only reached about maybe 27 degrees today, so still pretty cold. We're already feeling the winter here, and it's not even winter yet.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's just go ahead and for all y'all joining us on Facebook, no, we're joining us on YouTube and Twitch. All of you viewers, get your fantasy questions ready for us if you have them.
Oh yeah.
Right now,
This is
we
the
are
last of
going
it. We
to
want
go
to help
ahead.
you get to the playoffs.
Yes. Whatever we can do to help you make the right roster moves to get to the playoffs, that's why we are here. We love you people. We love each and every one of you. So, without further ado, we are going to go into our action from last week here. Let's go to our league scoreboard and see if we can get that screen up there. Here we go. I took a good one on the chin last week. Natalie beat me by a convincing margin, 169.6 to 81.54. Good numbers from Mr. Brown, the Dallas defense and special teams, which of course is still, in my opinion, one of the top three in the league. And of course, Mr. Dak Prescott getting 22.8 fantasy points. So that moves him. He's above 500 right now. He is at 7-6, second place in the Yabba division, while I am down in the bottom of the division with a record of 5-8. We go now to this matchup. Alex Putnam took care of Nick Dennison by a score of 132.9 to 96.5, thanks to some good points from
Tyreek Hill.
Yes, that's Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, is still the fastest man in the NFL, and good points from Josh Jacobs and Mr. Justin Herbert right there.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs has been one of the steals of the fantasy season so far. He's been outstanding.
Oh yeah,
absolutely outstanding for that Raiders team right there, and that victory pushes Putnam to a record of 6-7, third place in the Abu Dhabi division, while Nick goes down to 7-6. He's still holding second place in the What's Up Doc division.
And Dennison is already in the playoffs, and now Putnam is on the brink. So it's not 100% according to ESPN, but a lot would have to go wrong for him to not make the playoffs.
Absolutely. Right here, we have Andrew, which we said a couple of weeks ago that Andrew's team would be one to keep an eye on. And,
we got to give Andrew a shout out here. He did the impossible. He started the season 1-7, and he's on the fringe of making the playoffs.
Remember 3 years ago we had the exact same thing with Nels. He started 0-5 and made the playoffs at 7-6.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So
Andrew was some kind of wizard.
Some kind of wizard. Yeah, but he pulled off a 156.3 victory over Adam Oliver at 110.92.
And Jalen Hurts is the man. And right now Jalen Hurts is the number one quarterback in fantasy football through 13 weeks.
Yeah, who had thought it? Amon St. Brown. I thought he would struggle after his injury, but obviously not. 34.6 fantasy points right there. You can't go wrong with that. Of course, Mr. Justin Jefferson moving on up with 18.6 points right there.
And Natalia and I were talking before that Andrew turning his season around coincided with when he traded with Natalia for Amon St. Brown.
Yeah, we kind of helped each other in a sense because we were both struggling bad.
Oh, I guess it worked. I guess that trade worked.
Yeah, I got Kyler Murray from him.
Right. And we have our man Dino. He took down Casey by a score of 160.12 to 103.94. And we have Dino now Dino holding first place in the Abu Dhabi division at 8-5. Casey drops to 6-7, third place in the What's Up Doc division. Dino, Devontae Adams, Josh Allen, and Keenan Allen here all did very well for those Dynamasters right there. And I'm not going to frown on Joe Burrow getting 34.04 fantasy points for Casey in a losing effort there. And last but not least, we had our man Flynn once again. Just that one loss. Of course, that came to me, but since then, he has been rolling along as usual. 169.36 to 136.74 over Irene. Irene is 4-9, fifth in the What's Up Doc division. And of course, we know Flynn's got the number one seed lock up, 12-1.
And if I beat you that one time, and you beat me that time by 2 points, if it was the other way, I'd be going for a perfect season against the tally this week.
Oh, that would be one. That would have been something right there.
Yeah, we're Phil and I are 1-2 this week. I think I got the edge by 0.3 of a point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not even that.
So as we go into now our playoff bracket here. We still got 1 week left in our fantasy league, but right now,
and
I
three
just want
teams
to see
battling for two
how
spots.
things are.
No, four. Yeah, 3 teams battling for 2
Yeah.
spots.
Essentially.
Yep.
As of right now, Flynn still has number 1, and right now I am holding on to the bubble in the number 8 position right there. The whole number 8, the final playoff spot, and I gotta hold on to it for dear life here. Meanwhile, Dino is holding on to the number 2 seed. He would probably be facing Andrew right now in the playoffs. Number 3 seed is Nick. He would be taking on the number 6 seed Alex. And Natalie at the 4 seed would be taking on Casey in the number 5 seed. But what here is there's an interesting scenario between Andrew and myself, and it's pretty simple for me to get into the playoffs.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
either I get a victory, or
Yep.
if I get a victory, or if Andrew loses.
Or if Adam loses, yeah.
I will
The whole thing.
hold on.
Yeah, I'll give the whole
Yep.
breakdown. Yeah, Andrew clinches the playoff spot with a win, or a loss by Adam, or a loss by Tim. So Andrew has 3 scenarios there. He would be eliminated with a loss and wins by both Adam and Tim. And it says, yeah, Tim clinches the playoff spot, like you said, with a win or a loss by Adam. But however, you're eliminated if the roles are reversed. You lose and Adam wins. And then, but Adam has the hardest path of all. Clinches the playoff spot with a win and a loss by Tim, and eliminated with a loss or a win by Tim. So there we go. Those are the scenarios. For all intents and purposes, seems like Irene doesn't have a path.
Yeah,
It's because of head-to-head.
Yeah, even though ESPN gives her a 15% chance. Also, one thing to note that Putnam and Casey have not officially clinched playoff spots yet, but a lot would have to go wrong for them to not make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think both of them would have to lose, and then everybody else would have to win, and then the tiebreakers or something. It's a weird scenario.
Yeah, but for them, but for Putnam and Casey, I mean, they're especially Putnam. His team has been pretty good all year.
Yeah,
and so he's looking pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he is. He's looking pretty good so far. So let's go to our final week schedule in the regular season. Right now, my final opponent in the regular season will be the aforementioned Alex Putnam. Right now, he's got a slight projected edge over me, 108.2 to 105.5.
And Putnam has to make changes because he has 3 players that are on bye, so he needs to make some moves.
Mm-hmm.
And there are 6 teams on bye this week, which complicates a lot of things for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. So I'm kind of hoping for big things from my man, Henry. And then, of course, my man DK Metcalf and Mr. Waddle right here. He's been a pretty darn good receiver for those Dolphins so far. Sorry about that. Dino will be facing Andrew this week. And Dino is projected right now at 133.5. Andrew is projected at 126.2. And it looks like Andrew will have to make just one change on his roster there.
Yeah. Also, Natalia, did you check? Do you win your division with a win and a loss by Dino?
Because I swept him in head to head.
Okay, so that scenario, if you beat me and the Dino loses to Andrew, both of you would be 8-6. Got it.
Yeah, and I'll have the 2 seed.
Yeah.
All right, Casey will be taking on Irene. Casey right now is 108.7. Irene is at 90.8. Both of them will have to make some roster adjustments here. Looks like Irene's just going to be playing for some pride from here on out. Really, like I said, doesn't really have a path to make it to the playoffs this year. Uh, we have Natalie and Flynn in their matchup this week. Right now, Natalie is at 123.1. Flynn is at 131.1. Slight adjustments need to be made on
I
roster
just have to shop for a tight end. Cole Komet's on a bye.
So, yeah, and I have nothing to play for because I don't have the perfect season to play for.
Right.
Right. And we have Nick going up against Adam. Nick right now is at 112.8. Adam's at 106.8. And of course, we'll need to make some play out there. So, okay. I don't really make any adjustments, but I'm just going to take a double. I'm going to do a double take on mine. So that's pretty much
and remember, Adam
our
needs to make
matchups for the final
changes.
week of our regular season. Yeah, just make those changes, y'all. And you players out there as well. Make your changes. Have any questions? If you're watching, have any questions, just shoot your questions to us and we'll see if we can get them answered for you. So let me see here. I guess we can go ahead and kill that screen right now, and I guess we can go ahead and get to actually right now let's do some playoff scenarios in the NFL. Let's go ahead and get that screen up there that I was given earlier. Where is it? We just had it. There it is. All right, let's get the screen up there. So as you can see over in the AFC, let me expand this screen here over on my end. Here we go. Right now, the Bills hold the number 1 seed, even though they do have a similar record to the Chiefs. However, the Bills do hold the tie break because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Bills defeated the Chiefs earlier in the season. So the Bills would have the number 1 seed. Chiefs are at number 2 at 9-3. Baltimore Ravens, right now 8-4. Tennessee Titans, I mean, they're having a pretty good year so far, holding in first place in the AFC South with a record of 7-5.
And also, did you hear the Titans fired their general manager this morning?
Oh, ow.
Oh, really?
Yes, they did.
Well. This is news to me.
So apparently this was in response to trading AJ Brown to Philadelphia. It was something that Mike Vrabel did not want to happen, and AJ Brown went off on his old team yesterday on Sunday, and it cost the general manager his job.
How about that? Wow.
Yeah, but listen, Tennessee's still going to win the division. They're still going to be the 4th seed, but the what ifs with the Titans are still going to be around about AJ Brown and his replacement Traylon Burks for a while.
Absolutely. And right now, if the playoffs were to start this weekend, the Titans would be facing the Bengals at the number 5 seed with a record of 8-4. The Dolphins would come in as the number 6 seed at 8-4. I think I actually had the Dolphins as the number 7 seed in the preseason predictions here. And coming in at the 7th seed right now, the New York Jets. I mean,
how about that?
Yeah, how about those Jets? If they can just hold on, and I guess if they can win out, then they could probably at least still hold that spot. Just depends on what the Dolphins do for the next few weeks, but that's basically basically the AFC picture. Over in the NFC, we have those Eagles, or as I like to call them, the Philadelphia Chickens. 11-1, still holding on to first place in the NFC East and still holding on to that number 1 seed in the conference. Right now at number 2 at 10-2, the Minnesota Vikings. Sorry, guys. The Vikings holding on to first place in the NFC North Division. The number 3 seed in first place in the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers at 8-4. And the number 4 seed, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who pulled off probably the biggest, literally almost a last-second victory this past Monday night, last night's game, with a record of 6-6. Now, I'm starting to see that seems like the NFC South now is kind of like what the NFC East was a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Buccaneers would hold on to number 4, right now, number 5 seed is my Dallas Cowboys with a record of 9-3. And a lot of people are thinking that the Cowboys could win out. They could. Number 6 seed, the New York Football Giants with a record of 7-4-1. And holding on to the 7th seed right now by the skin of their teeth with a 7-5 record, the Seattle Seahawks, who are definitely really warming up at just the right time to make that final playoff run here.
They've been a hot surprise this year.
And also Seattle moved, but remember, Seattle barely beat the Rams without Matthew Stafford and Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp. But listen, Seattle might. I think Seattle might have peaked a little early. Do you think? You think so? Because I don't think Seattle's been playing well, especially since the bye week.
Yeah. They've still had their struggles, but I mean, still, Geno Smith would be my pick for the comeback player of the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's especially if Seattle makes the playoffs, and a couple of things that Tim didn't mention. How about that tie between the Commanders and the Giants? I mean, it was a wild game. It was 2020. If any game deserved a tie this year, this one would be it. I mean, so all the prognosticators I saw had this as a 50-50 chance, and both teams got a half a point because of it.
Yeah.
Giants had it in the bag and blew it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Hey, LC Muscles, what's up, buddy? Yeah, we're competing in a different kind of contest, and I have been ahead of LC Muscles pretty much all the way for the season until recently now. Now he has overtaken me in our division. This has been an interesting battle going neck and neck and neck until all the way. LC, love you, brother. You're doing a good job. See you tomorrow night. And, of course, just remember, tomorrow night I will be appearing with LC Muscles and Alex Putnam, A Pizzle 90, for the 4 Horsemen of Pick'ems. Tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, only on the A Pizzle 90 channel on YouTube. Pretty simple address. Go to youtube.com/A Pizzle 90, APIZZLE 90. And you'll get to enjoy the show. LC, my bro. Big Steeler fan, by the way. So anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at last week's picks results. Let me go ahead and bring that screen up and
the Bears and Texans officially got eliminated. That's one good thing. That's one thing we should know.
All right. So last week, Natalie did slightly better than myself and Flynn. He went 11-3-1, while Flynn and I went 10-4-1. So for the season, straight up picks, Flynn is at 125-68-2. Natalie is second place right now for the season at 119.74-2. And I'm right behind Natalie with 118.75-2. Now, against the spread last week, slightly different story here. 9-6 went Flynn and Natalie. Meanwhile, I went 6-9 on our picks against the spread. So for the season, Flynn holds 102.88-5. I hold 94.98-5. And Natalie at 89.101-5. So, yeah, been pretty interesting right there. So with that all being said, we will go ahead and get into this week's schedule of NFL games. Let's go ahead and get up there right now. And just to let y'all know, as you can see down at the bottom of the screen right there, 6 teams are on the bye this week.
Yeah, this is the last group of buys.
Last bye week of the season. So it's the Atlanta Falcons, the Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Indianapolis Colts, New Orleans Saints, and Washington Commanders. So remember, folks, if you have any of those players on your rosters, you got to make sure to either bench them or drop them from your roster because, of course, they will not do you any good this week. But, of course, all the teams will be in action next week and all the way through the rest of the season. So, once again, bench or drop any players you have who play for the Falcons, the Bears, the Packers, the Colts, the Saints, and the Commanders. And so, with that being said, we are going to go ahead and go into Week 14 of the NFL schedule, beginning, of course, as always, with the Thursday night matchup on Prime Video. We have two AFC West rivals going head-to-head this week. We have the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Los Angeles Rams, and the Raiders are going into Los Angeles as 6-point favorites. So, Flynn, let's go ahead and get this thing started. What do you see in here in this matchup?
All right, and obviously the news in this game is about Baker Mayfield being claimed off waivers by the LA Rams. He was released by Carolina on Monday, so now he's a member of the Rams. I thought it would be good for San Francisco to put a waiver claim on him, but I digress. But listen, I've been destroying the Raiders all year, but when I mean destroying the Raiders, it did not mean go 5-12 or 6-11. They had some considerable talent around with getting Devontae Adams, getting Chandler Jones, who finally showed up against the Chargers on Sunday. Look, this Raiders team isn't that terrible. I just didn't think they were going to be a playoff team this year. And now you're starting to see why I have the Raiders going 8-9 instead of 6-11. That they have back-to-back overtime wins against the Broncos. Now, the Broncos are not an easy team because of their defense. And winning in Seattle in overtime wasn't easy because they with that crowd and Geno Smith and all of that, so they needed Josh Jacobs to run crazy, and then they beat a talented Chargers team led by Justin Herbert. So the Raiders are playing by far their best football of the season. Meanwhile, the Rams, like half of their salary commitments are injured, and it's just simply not going to build well. I mean, Kyron Williams potentially being the number 2 back for the Rams, and so it's just not going to pan out well for the Rams. Look, Sean McVay can do all the magic he wants, but the roster just isn't that good. So I'm going to take the Raiders to win. I'm going to take the Raiders to cover. I have them winning by a score of 31-23.
All right, then, Natalia, who do you got in this matchup?
Pretty much the Rams are a mess right now. The Raiders are improving little by little. Josh Jacobs is probably a top 5 running back right now.
Hey.
What happened? Hey, you still got me?
I was just waiting for your audio. I didn't get you. Snap.
Yes, you can hear us, Sally?
Yeah, I hear you, but you guys can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, there we go. I just had to fix my settings. Yeah, I was saying it's probably safe to say Jacobs is probably a top 5 running back right now. He proved a lot of people wrong.
Yeah, we got you now.
Yeah, and I think the Raiders, they may be in last place, but they're probably the best of the last place teams. So I think it's still gonna be a close game, but the Raiders are gonna win. They'll just barely cover 27-20.
And Tim. Did we lose Tim?
Okay. Well, I am going to go ahead and make this unanimous. It's a Matthew Stafford gets hurt, so obviously the Rams need a quarterback. So they get Baker most hours after he gets released from the Carolina Panthers. But I don't think it still matters. I mean, the Raiders are playing good football when they need to right now. They've been struggling here through the season, but they've been doing pretty good. This Josh Jacobs, tell you, when he first came into the league, I said this kid's going to be something special. And he is a pretty good player for the Raiders team. And so for that reason, I am taking the Raiders. It's going to be a 6-point victory. I'm Raiders over the woeful Rams by a score of 26-20. And by the way, you were asking before the show. Well, the Raiders are my lock this week.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing. I'm locking up the
Right
Raiders
out of the gate.
Wow.
Yep. That's my lock for this week. Now let's go into our Sunday afternoon game starting in Buffalo. The Bills are going to be at home taking on the New York Giants, or the New York Jets, rather. The Jets are heading into Buffalo. Buffalo, very stout 9.5-point favorite. So, Flynn, take this one.
So yeah, I think the Bills defense got back in the right direction last week with a thumping of the Patriots. But look, this is the difference between these two teams. One of them gets it done when it mattered the most, and the other just simply doesn't. I mean, the last 2 times the Jets played on the road, that they scored just 3 points against the Patriots, and then how about last week? They had 6 trips in the red zone. They only scored 1 touchdown. That's just simply not going to cut it against the Bills defense, which is one of the best in the National Football League. So the Jets won the first matchup at the Meadowlands, but I just think this Bills team is all focused. I think they got back in the right direction. I'm going to take the Bills to win, and I'll take the Bills to cover. Give me the Bills to win 30-17 over Buffalo, Tally.
Yeah, honestly, I could kind of see this game pretty close. And the Jets are slowly getting into the thick of things. And although, I mean, they do have a bit of a running back crunch right now. But what's that? That new guy that came in, he did pretty good. I forgot his name. The guy that filled in for Michael Carter.
Oh,
Zion something or other.
It's something like that, but
yeah, he had a pretty solid game. Yeah, Mike White somehow their third string quarterback is somehow hanging around, doing pretty well. But the Bills are still the better team, obviously. I'm going to take the Bills to win. However, I'm taking the Jets with the points. So I think the Bills will win this one. Jets will cover by a score of 31-24.
Interesting. Very interesting. I'm going to make it unanimous again. I am going to take the Bulls here. With Zach Wilson getting benched, and now we got this guy, third string Mike White. Like Natalie said, he's still hanging around. But Buffalo, they have been playing and they've been showing people why they are the top seed in the AFC. I'm going to take Buffalo. They're going to cover the spread easily. Give me the Bills over the Jets, 31-21.
Looks like I'm alone with the Jets covering.
Yeah, I'm going to give the 10-point advantage right here. And now we are going to go to Cincinnati. It's the second Battle of Ohio for this season. This time it's in Cincinnati. And it's the Browns and the Bengals. The Bengals are 6-point favorites. So I can't remember what happened last time these two met.
So yeah, the Browns Browns blew out the Bengals the first time.
I don't
Cleveland.
I don't really have my notes on me.
Yeah, Cleveland did, Tim.
Oh, so Cleveland took care of the Bengals the first time around. Flynn, I don't think it's going to happen again, is it?
I mean, this game was the second toughest game of the week to pick. Now, I'm going to take the Bengals to win. They have the better team, the better quarterback. But there's just something about the Browns and their ability to play tough against the Bengals. I mean, the last few years, the Browns have had the Bengals number, and when you look at what the Browns have at their disposal, Deshaun Watson, who is obviously just getting his footing started with Texas after going over to them in the trade. So, but this is a divisional game. This is a rivalry game. I think this is going to come down to the final minutes here. I think Cleveland's going to play tough, especially when you think of their defense. And we saw their defense take over that game against Houston on Sunday with 2 defensive touchdowns. So I'm tempted to pick the Bengals based on how well they've played, even without Joe Mixon. But it's a division game, and the Bengals have always find a way to win. But this one's going to be a close game, so I'll take the Bengals to win, but I'll take the Browns with the points, 22-19.
Interesting.
Interesting. Natalie, what do you got?
Yeah, I think this one can kind of go either way. And despite Joe Mixon being out a few weeks, the Bengals have still done pretty well. Samaje Perine has been filling in extraordinarily well. Yep. I mean, I picked him up last week on the waiver wire. That was a smart choice. And Deshaun Watson was a little rusty. And I would definitely frown upon trying to pick him up for fantasy. He's not going to help you at this point. I'm sure you guys would strongly frown upon that too. Yeah, I still think whether or not Mixon plays, I think the Bengals are still the better team. I think they're going to win and cover. So give me the Bengals to win 28-17.
Okay. I will also take the Bengals here. Hopefully Joe Mixon will be okay to play. That guy is a young, real big star in the making right there. Cleveland, well, all I got to say is Cleveland is Cleveland. That's all I got to say. I believe the Bengals will win. I believe the Bengals will cover. Give me the striped ones, the Bengals, to take down the Cleveland Browns by a score of 24-17. Now we go to, well, it's a matchup so big it only happens once every 4 years. This is what we call the Lone Star State Showdown. And it's 2 teams that are totally going in opposite directions. We have the Houston Texans against my Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium. Not only is this the biggest spread of the week, but I have to say this is probably, the biggest spread of the season that I've seen so far.
Yep, you got it right.
Cowboys are 17-point favorites. Flynn, we're not going to see anything like we did 4 years ago, right?
Oh my God! Remember when the Cowboys just kept shooting themselves in the foot that one year? Yeah, Dallas 33, Houston 3, lock of the week.
Oh wow, that was that was short, simple, and to the point right there. Flynn lock America's team. Natalie, what do you got to say?
Yeah, there's not much to say about this. Texans pretty much have nothing. They have one good running back, one okay receiver, no defense, essentially no offense. And at first glance, I thought 17 was too high, but then I had a change of heart. I actually thought 17 points was too generous. I think the Cowboys are going to win by 20 points, 38-18. And why not? Let's make it a lock just to say whatever.
All righty then. So Natalie will lock the Cowboys. Well, of course, I already used my lock on the Raiders for the first game, but as I said, two teams going in opposite directions. Houston's going way down while the Cowboys are going way up. After that, oh my gosh, that total destruction of Indianapolis.
In the fourth quarter.
Oh my, Jeff said, God. 33 and Cowboys on a if they're going to put another 50 burger, but give me my boys it's in 10 victory over those Texans.
33-10 is your score.
We're going to go to Detroit with an NFC North matchup. The Lions are at home against the Minnesota Vikings. 45-10.
All right.
That'll be 45-10. Detroit's at home against Minnesota. Detroit at 2.5-point favorites. Which way you thinking, Flynn?
I mean, if you actually saw the Vikings play last week, they should have lost that game to the Jets. They gave up 486 yards of total offense to Mike White. I mean, it was so laughable how Vikings fans think that they should be favored in this game. And look, the Lions have one of the best offenses in football. So they have Jared Goff was terrific. Amon St. Brown is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL this year. And everyone in the Lions offense has been playing so well over these last 4 or 5 weeks, and this is a Lions team that's going to be a serious contender next year. Dan Campbell has done a really nice job coaching after coaching up this team after they started 1-6, and yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of points on the board here. I'll take the Lions to win this game 37-27 over the Minnesota Vikings.
All right, Natalie. Vikings Lions. Who you got?
Yeah. This might be a little premature, a little crazy, but this was actually one of the, I believe, 4 games where I disagree with this spread completely. This is the first of the 4. I think the Lions are good. Don't get me wrong. Their offense has been pretty solid, but the Vikings offense I think is far superior. Look, if you look at I think like Dalvin Cook and Justin Jefferson, they're one of the best 1-2 combos. It's hard to pass Jefferson. Yeah, Amon St. Brown's been pretty solid, but if you look at the numbers, it's very close. But I gotta give it to the edge to Minnesota. I just think they just have better all around weapons overall, not by much, but when it comes to defense, I just think the Lions defense is slightly overrated. I don't think they're as good as they look. They give up too many points. So I'm going to disagree with this spread. I'm actually going to go with the Vikings on this one, and they're going to win by 4 points, 32-28.
Well,
I just don't think the Lions are as good as they appear to be.
Well, actually, after doing a little bit of thinking and after everything you guys have said about this one, I am going to give a slight edge to the Lions this one. I mean, I do like Kirk Cousins, I do like Justin Jefferson, and I do like Adam Thielen. I do love those guys, but they're going to be in Detroit, and Detroit, as you said, have had a very good offense. Actually, this is what I call my point spread game of the week. I believe Minnesota will just barely cover the spread, but I'm taking Detroit with the game. Give me the Lions over the Vikings by a slim score of 26-24.
Wow.
Interesting.
I believe that's how close that game's going to be.
Either I'm gonna look like a genius or a complete idiot. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh well. Okay, now we're going to go to New York, where we're going to have we're going to have the best team in the NFC East against one of the worst. Well, third worst, I guess. It's the Philadelphia Eagles, New York Giants over at MetLife Stadium. Eagles coming in at 6.5-point favorites. 6.5 favorites. That sound about right to you?
So, I mean, if you watch how the Eagles played on Sunday, it's that everyone was going in, including myself, thinking, oh, this Eagles team can only beat the bad teams. I mean, they weren't great against teams like Indy or Houston, and they only won by 7 against the Packers, and then say hello to the AJ Brown revenge game and Jalen Hurts throwing for 380 yards in the air against that defense. I think that's the signal that the Eagles have reestablished themselves as the team to beat in the NFC. And you've got, and as for the Giants now, you still have Adoree Jackson, you still have Xavier McKinney still unavailable due to injuries. It was nice for the Giants to get Evan Neal and Daniel Bellinger back from injuries because they helped blocking in the second quarter when the offense really got going. But I just think the Eagles are the better team. I just think they're so much better in every single phase. Jalen Hurts right now would be my number 2 for league MVP. I'll take the Eagles and Jalen Hurts to win and cover. Philly 31, Giants 19.
Eek.
Natalie, yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, this one was actually kind of a tough one for me. I was kind of going back and forth on this because, somehow I think over the years I remember the Giants like having a knack for beating the best teams. I remember I think one year, I forgot what year it was. I think the Broncos started 12-0. The Giants gave them their first loss. Mm-hmm. And the Giants gave their first loss to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Somehow the Giants have a knack for doing crazy things.
You're not going there, aren't you?
What? Well, I don't know. This is kind of a weird one because I'm actually gonna do something a little weird here. Remember the last time I said the Eagles were gonna be the lock of the week and I was wrong?
I think he is.
Remember when I did a lock of the pick for the Eagles and then it turned out to be wrong?
Hey, that was that game into Texans. Remember? I remember that.
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, wait. Yeah. When it was the Eagles and who did the Eagles lose to? I forgot now. In the first game of this.
So
who was the Eagles' first loss to this season?
Washington.
Yeah, that's right.
Commanders.
That's right. I made it the lock of the week. So I'm going to do something kind of fun here. I'm going to do a lock for the Eagles, so that way I can be wrong again and the Giants win. That's my plan. That is my plan. The Giants are going to cover this. They're going to lose, and I'm going to be wrong about them losing. See? I got a plan.
Oh,
I'm going to help It's going to work. So give me the Eagles. Another lock of the week for the Eagles, 24-20. And I will be wrong, and the Giants will win.
I have no idea how I'm trying to process this
I'm trying to process this too. I'm trying to process this too, Tim. Don't worry.
Because remember. So yeah, I'm 0-1 when I lock the Eagles. So let's hope I'm 0-2 because I want the Giants to win. That's why I'm doing that.
Right.
I'm going to be 0-2 and the Giants are going to win.
Oh yes, it's of course. Yeah, because you're a New York guy by heart. You're from New York, and yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can see that, but no, I just don't. But I don't see that happening. Eagles are probably their best team. Uh, not much to say about this one. Give me the Eagles over the Giants by a score of 35-27. Fly chickens
Someone would at
fly.
least take the Giants to cover. Oh,
That's all I gotta say about
yeah. Why am I the only modest one?
Giants
can cover. Giants.
Flynn, I think we can make a few notes. I think we need to make a few notes about this episode here.
Yeah, I
have
will
to,
remember this. I will remember
Keep
this.
this on record here. Meanwhile, while we oh yeah, Flynn will remember. And while we try to remember this, let's just excuse me.
Let's
one of the
go to
best
the next game
rivalries
here.
in the NFL. It's the Ravens and the Ravens and Steelers. Over at I don't care what you. I still call it Heinz Field, and the Steelers are actually coming in at 5-point favorites, but that might be a little since Lamar Jackson is hurt. Flynn, Jackson's hurt. So what gives?
Yeah. What's up? I'm doing what Tim just did for the Lions Vikings game. I'm taking the Steelers to win. I think the coaching is going to get it done in the end, but I have the Ravens covering. I look. I know Pittsburgh has had issues, but Baltimore just simply can't win without Lamar Jackson, and I think not being available and having Tyler Huntley to cover as the quarterback. Now Huntley helped help with the final drive at the end of the Denver game, but going up against that defense, I just think it's going to be tough for Baltimore to yank it out. Now, I think that it's going to be a back and forth game, but I think the Steelers yank it out. They win by a point. Steelers 17, Ravens 16. Natalie?
Yeah, without Lamar Jackson, their offense just took a serious hit.
Yeah,
granted,
what do you say?
Without Lamar Jackson, the offense just took a serious blow. Granted, they still have Mark Andrews and some other solid pieces. But other than that, they don't have much of a run game. Sure, their defense is very good, but without Lamar, that's just going to hurt them in the end. If Lamar was playing, I would say, yeah, sure, Ravens win this one. But since he's not, I'm going to take the Steelers here. They're just barely going to cover and win 23-20.
Okay. I am Lamar Jackson's hurt. Can't really do anything without him, so I know LC Muscles. I know he said hello earlier. LC Muscles is going to be very happy when I say this. I'm taking the Steelers to beat the Ravens at home. Give me the Steelers to win by a score of 26-23. I believe
and covering.
Baltimore will be interesting, but I think they pull it out of the end here. So now I go to the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tennessee Titans. Games against Illinois. I can't believe this. In Nashville, Tennessee at home against Jackson. Tennessee 3.5-point favorites. Flynn, what do you see here?
So, yeah, I couldn't circle Tennessee fast enough here because two things could be true about the Lions locking the Jaguars, where the Lions won 40-14. The Lions can be good, but the Jaguars just simply aren't very good. I mean, so they had a lot of trouble keeping the Lions defense off the field defensively, and when you're going up against Derrick Henry, that spells trouble. So I'm going to take the Titans to win. The Titans to cover. They have a superior head coach. They have the superior defense, and I think that's going to favor Tennessee in the end. Titans 24, Jaguars 14 to tally.
Yeah, despite Derrick Henry having a very rough game last week, I think he's definitely going to bounce back. And as well as all their receivers, their defense, everybody's going to step up. Titans win this one and cover, but it's still going to be. I still think it's going to be a close game in all honesty. 26-21.
Not ready to the end. I'm going to make you unanimous. I'm going with Tennessee here. I'm expecting a huge game from Derrick Henry. And I see Tennessee winning this one by a score of 24-16. That's the way I see it there. Now we are going into the late afternoon games on Sunday, beginning in Mile High with the Broncos renewing an old AFL rivalry with the visiting Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs coming in at 9-point favorites. Flynn, go.
I remember when the schedule came out back in May. This was one of the 3 or 4 matchups that I was circling on my sketch because I thought both teams were going to be so good. Well, 3/4 correct. I mean, if you look at Kansas City's team and Denver's defense, it's just been Russell Wilson has been terrible at the quarterback position, and he's terrible at his job apparently. And that's just not going to go well. The offense is broken. Nate Hackett can't coach his way out of a paper bag, and he turned Russell Wilson into a pumpkin rather than a dude who can cook easily. So I'll take the Chiefs to win. I'll take the Chiefs to cover. Now, not 9 is a lot. 9 is a lot in a division game, especially for the road team. I just think the Broncos are too broken. I don't think the logic of Denver's defense can apply to Patrick Mahomes because Mahomes is that good, and especially for this year when Mahomes is the leader in the clubhouse for league MVP. So with that being said, 9 is tempting for me, but I'm gonna lay them all here. I'll take the Chiefs to win 23-13 to tally.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if there could come a time where Russell Wilson could be benched at some point, since he hasn't been playing particularly well.
I don't think they can bench him, Tally. I don't.
Yeah, there were rumors flying around that he's on the verge of being benched, so we'll see. I mean, none of this matters at this point. I don't think the Broncos are unlikely to make the playoffs, I think, and unless they make some big comeback. As far as this game goes, I think the spread is just fine. The Chiefs are the better team. I mean, Broncos defense is hanging around a little bit, but they got no offense. So give me the Chiefs to win this one, 34-22.
All right, Tim, are you going to make it unanimous?
Of course I will, and I think I know what you were trying to say, Flynn. They were trying to get Russell Wilson to the ball, but they cannot turn a pumpkin into a horse carriage. I think you had like a Cinderella type of reference right there. So I think that's what you were trying to get. But Seattle pretty much won the trade. Because obviously Denver is having problems with Wilson. Wilson's having problems with them. I'm not much to say here. Give me the Chiefs to win and cover 31-20. That's what I'm going to say right there. Now we have an interesting matchup in Seattle, where there are 3.5-point favorites against the visiting Carolina Panthers. So I don't even know who's starting for the Panthers now that Baker Mayfield's been traded or he's
Sam
been let
Darnold.
go. He was let go on waivers. So it's going to be Sam Darnold again. So the Sam Darnold show. So what do you see, Flynn?
Yeah, I thought this was the toughest game of the week for me to pick. Now, I'm gonna take the Panthers with the points. I'll take Seattle to win, but I don't know what my trust level can be from a Seattle perspective because the Rams have been terrible. Yet Seattle was taken to the final 30 seconds despite Geno Smith having a great game offensively with utilizing DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett and maximizing their potential. Each caught a touchdown. Each had over 100 yards receiving. But but given what Seattle's got coming up, they've got San Francisco, they've got Kansas City, they've got the Jets, which is not going to be easy, and over the next 3 weeks. So, given that someone's going to win the Giants Washington game next week, hopefully, this seems like this is something that Seattle needs to have, and I'll take Seattle to win, but the confidence level just isn't there. So I'll take the Panthers. I'll think it's going to be a 24-21 Seattle win. Sally?
Yeah, yeah. This one was the toughest one for me as well. As far as this game goes, this one has my lowest combined point total. The Seahawks right now are dealing with kind of a tough running back situation. Earlier in the game, Kenneth Walker left with an injury. Their shining rookie. Another running back, Travis Homer, he was out with an illness. DJ Dallas got injured for a little bit. At one point, the Seahawks were down to their fourth string running back, and possibly a running back number 5 too. It was almost down to the point to where they had to use members of special teams as their running back. But so far as it stands right now, Kenneth Walker is expected to be okay. DJ Dallas should also be fine. So despite those little hiccups, I think they'll be fine, but just barely. Give me the Seahawks to win in a very low scoring affair, 21-17.
All right, Tim.
All righty then. Well, I'm going to take the Seahawks right now. Still, like I said, they're still holding on for that. Right now, they're at the 7th and final spot in the NFC playoffs right now. But Sam Darnold, I don't know if he'll be able to make it or not. But Seattle at home usually historically have been very, very good. Like to give me, yeah, it's going to be kind of close. I'm going to take Seattle to win by a score of 27-24. Give me the Seahawks 27-24 over the Panthers. Now we're going to go to San Francisco. The 49ers are going to be at home against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this seems a little deceiving. 49ers at 3.5-point favorites.
Very deceiving indeed.
Flynn, who you got?
So, I mean, it's especially deceiving because Brock Purdy's the starting quarterback for San Francisco after
Mr. Irrelevant.
It's now Mr. Relevant in San Francisco. Brock Purdy from Iowa State. And look, all Brock Purdy has to do is not turn the ball over. And if you've noticed what Kyle Shanahan has done throughout with young quarterbacks, he's not going to let the quarterback lose the game for his team. We saw that with Jimmy Garoppolo. We saw that. We saw that last year with Trey Lance. But here's the punchline here. I just don't think Tampa is that good. And when I say that, I look specifically at Todd
Okay,
Bowles.
I missed that whole thing.
You Yeah, but Todd Bowles is if Tom Brady didn't complete that miraculous comeback down 13 with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, everyone would be talking about Todd Bowles and his inability to coach his way out of a paper bag. And that's true. And you have to analyze the first 57 minutes of the game alongside the last 3 minutes of that game when you look at picking these games. So I'm going to take San Francisco. The coaching matchup is one-sided. That defense going against Tom Brady and the lack of talent he has around him, and when we say talent, look at the offensive line, look at the patchwork of receivers that he's had to deal with. This is varsity compared to the Saints. I'll take the 49ers to win and cover 29-16 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to tally.
Ooh, interesting. Yeah, this one I'm kind of going in a bit of a different direction here. I mean, we don't really have enough info on Brock Purdy yet to see if he's a good quarterback or if he's not. Right now, too early to tell if he's suited for the league. I mean, this is his first full start, so he's got to get his feet wet. I think there's going to be a couple of hiccups here and there. He's going to have a solid game, probably in his debut, but it's hard to go against Tom Brady. He's known for making comebacks and whatnot. I think we're going to have a very similar scenario here. The Bucs will probably be down in the fourth quarter late, but they're going to bounce back, and I think they're going to win. So give me the Bucs 25-23.
Oh, that's an upset special, Tim.
Sure is. Yep, it sounds like an upset special to me. Yeah, that's the reason why I call him go and all those. That's what makes elite quarterbacks elite. I mean, you leave them with like 1 minute, maybe 45 seconds, maybe even 30 seconds left, and they just go down the field on you and they score on you like that. That's what makes elite quarterbacks. Tom Brady is the best. I don't know if it's going to be the same scenario as it was last night, but in San Francisco with Jimmy G out for the rest of the season, I don't know if they'll be able to hold on. Yeah, I think I'm going to sound the alarm too. Let me go ahead and get that up right here. Let me get it.
Yeah. What's your score, Tim?
Here we go. Give me Buccaneers over the 49ers score of 28-24. That is my upset special for this week, and I'm sure Irene out there is going to just love that because, of course, we all know.
Oh boy!
Of course, we got from the sideline, a flag on the play, like Julio with them. Yeah, we know.
Oh,
Now, we got the Sunday night game over on NBC. Very interesting matchup here. Miami Dolphins, Los Angeles Chargers. Over at SoFi Stadium, and the Chargers are 3-point favorites. Flynn, what you got here?
see, look, I'm gonna take the Dolphins in this one. That's my upset special of the week, Tim. I think you look at Miami as a team that obviously got destroyed. Terran Armstead is hurt, so that's a problem. But you got Tyreek Hill, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Mike McDaniel. So in there, I think that the Dolphins have a superior coach. And also, remember that time the Chargers decided to hire Brandon Staley instead of Brian Dable when they had the opportunity? Well, I think the Chargers are regretting that decision now. Brian Dable's in the conversation for Coach of the Year, and Brandon Staley has one of the hottest seats of any contending coach in the AFC. So I like Tua. I obviously I would have taken Herbert over Tua in the draft process if I was Miami in 2020, but I digress. He's been really good. But I just think that this Chargers team I don't think is any good. So I'll take the Dolphins in my upset special of the week. Dolphins 31, Chargers 28.
Oh. Oh, okay. So we have another upset special here. We can get that thing up there.
All right, Natalie.
Yeah, oddly enough, I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, I think Flynn hit the nail right on the head on this one. The Dolphins are the superior team here. Right now, they're healthier. If you look at the grand scheme of the players that they have right now, the Chargers, they don't have Mike Williams. He's still dealing with an injury. Gerald Everett is just an average tight end, nothing special. Let's see. Well, the same. You could say the same thing about Gesicki. So those two cancel each other out. So essentially, it's Tyreek Hill versus Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen is just coming back from an injury, so he's got to take some baby steps. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, simple as that. Those two are clearly better. Dolphins win, 31-27.
Oh, that's an upset special, Tim.
Oh, I got two upsets.
Oh, yeah, that's an upset special. I'm having connection problems.
Yeah.
So we're not going to run the whole siren thing, but y'all get the idea.
Yep.
Now, this may not be my upset special for this week, but I'm going to take the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins. Chargers have just been too banged up. They're too weak. They got Tyreek Hill. They got James Waddle. They got some great receivers. Miami is going to go headlong into the playoffs, I believe. So give me the Dolphins over the Chargers by a score of 30-21. Yeah,
so we all had the underdog in this one.
Yeah, we got 30-24. And for our man, Alex Putnam, I say, fins up, baby.
Yeah. And remember to follow Alex and the A-Pizzle 90 channel.
That's right. And last but not least, we have the Monday Night Football matchup. We got the New England Patriots and the Arizona Cardinals. Patriots only at 1.5 point favorites. I don't know if there's really much to talk about in this game, Flynn.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the grand scheme of things, and this game too was a tricky one. So the Cleveland, Cincinnati, Carolina, Seattle, and this one were all tough games for me to pick. But then I remember who's on the sidelines: Bill Belichick versus Cliff Kingsbury. And the first time Kingsbury has seen, the second time they've seen each other throughout the years. And Cliff Kingsbury's clearly on the hot seat. The Cardinals have been dreadful. Look, this was tough because the Cardinals are coming off a bye and 15 days since their last game. But you look at the coaching, I think New England's defense is better. So I'm going to take the Patriots and Mac Jones over the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. Am I crazy here? Patriots win. Patriots cover. Patriots 23. Cardinals 21, Natalie.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think this has ever happened before, but this is the third game in a row where I think the spread on here is completely wrong. Although I don't think this is going to be a close one. I think the Cardinals are better. I think when it comes to an offensive standpoint, Mac Jones and Kyler Murray has been very solid. You got DeAndre Hopkins. They're a perfect 1-2 combo. Probably the best Patriots receiver right now is just some guy who hunts, but that probably doesn't help them much. So, despite the Cardinals having probably a worse defense, I think their offense is actually going to stand up to that defense. You got two solid receivers, like I said. Of course, DeAndre Hopkins and then Hollywood Brown. He's still very good. You can't deny those two. So give me the Cardinals to win 27-23.
And Tim.
So Flynn's taking the Patriots. Natalie's taking the Cardinals. I'm, of course, have to give the tiebreaker. And I just got to look at it from the way I see these two teams been playing all year long. Both are kind of struggling. But I'm giving a slight edge to the Patriots here because of the great head coach, Bill Belichick. So give me the Patriots to take down the Cardinals by a score of 26-21. That's my pick for that one. And NFL picks for week 14. And now what I got to do, I got to go to my fantasy leagues and I got to make some final adjustments so I can make my league playoffs. So hopefully y'all are doing it out. Hopefully y'all are doing it out there too. So make your draft choices and or not your draft choices, but make the right decisions for your fantasy teams if you want to try to make the playoffs. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah. And remember, don't take any of the 6 teams that are on a bye because they will not help you.
That's right. Once again, the bye teams are the Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Indianapolis Colts, New Orleans Saints, and Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
And this,
not that there isn't anybody practically notable on there anyway, but either way, they're not going to help you. The only notable guy is maybe Jonathan Taylor. That's it.
And also Justin Fields.
True.
And also Terry McLaurin and others. So you remember Kyle Pitts is out for the season, so it wouldn't have helped anyway.
Right.
Right. So yeah, by this time next week, we will find out who the 8 teams in our league as we going into the playoffs. So playoffs get ready. Hope y'all make your picks. So yeah, that's we'll wrap up a show here. Don't forget John Flynn. He's got Hooked on Sports twice a week during the NFL season. So click on those links. Got 3 links down in the description area, so you can listen to our man Flynn with Hooked on Sports. Any closing comments, gentlemen?
Who, me? Wait, we talking to me or to Flynn?
Either y'all have anything to say before we close up shop?
Yeah, well, I'm definitely looking forward to this week. It's gonna be very interesting to see who makes the playoffs, and yeah, I mean next week, yeah, definitely can't wait. We're gonna see who makes the playoffs, and yeah, remember when it comes to playoff time, it's win or go home.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's better than last year because I had the 1 seed in our tournament last year, and I got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah, and then remember for all you viewers watching, yeah, just because it's playoff time doesn't mean the show ends here. We'll still be happy to answer any fantasy questions you guys have during the playoffs. We'll give you our insights, give you our opinions. So don't forget, just because it's week 14, that doesn't mean it's the end. As they say in show business, the show must go on.
And that we definitely will do that. So, hope everyone has a great week. Hope everyone enjoys the games. Getting closer to Christmas, so hopefully y'all get some Christmas done. So, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap things up for another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. Thank you very much for joining us. For John Flynn, for Jonathan, thanks for watching us. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the games. Good night. God bless you. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.